Imagine a drug empire worth £200 million, built on cunning, deals with Colombian cartels, and fearless ambition. Colin Smigger Smith was the coke king of Britain until one fateful evening when a pump-action shotgun ended his reign. A notorious coke baron from Liverpool, Colin Smigger Smith, amassed a staggering £200 million fortune by forging deep connections with Colombian cartels. However, his decision to cross these dangerous South American traffickers led to his brutal demise at the hands of a professional assassin. The killing sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld, and law enforcement agencies across Europe are now bracing for a violent drug war between two powerful syndicates. Smith's execution, even by the brutal standards of organized crime, was shockingly ruthless. The gunman approached him casually, right outside a gym on a Liverpool council estate. From beneath his jacket, the assassin drew a pump-action shotgun and, at close range, fired directly at Smith's head. In an instant, Britain's so-called cocaine king was dead. Despite an intensive police investigation, the identity of the killer remains unknown 6 months later. Only now are the sinister details surrounding the murder beginning to emerge, a grim tale of betrayal, calculated violence, and revenge in the murky world of international drug trafficking. Smith's assassination is far more than just a violent vendetta. It has ignited a potential war between two major forces in the narcotics trade. On one side stands the Liverpool Mafia, a long-established syndicate deeply entrenched in the UK's cocaine market. On the other, the formidable Cali Cartel, one of Colombia's most influential cocaine suppliers. According to sources within the criminal underworld, the stakes are enormous. Control over Britain's lucrative £2 billion cocaine market hangs in the balance. It is believed that Smith's death was ordered by the Colombian cartels following the disappearance of a cocaine shipment valued at an astonishing £72 million. This loss marked a severe breach of trust, shattering the uneasy cooperation between Liverpool's crime syndicates and their Colombian counterparts. In response, leading figures in the Merseyside cocaine trade convened and vowed to avenge Smith's death. His reputation as a high-stakes dealer capable of moving 1,000-kilogram shipments was legendary, and his influence on the price of cocaine across the UK was unparalleled. The repercussions of this murder are reverberating far beyond Liverpool. Police and intelligence agencies across Europe feared that any attempt by the Liverpool Mafia to retaliate against the Cali Cartel's extensive and sophisticated distribution network could unleash a wave of violent retribution. Reports from Amsterdam, a critical hub for cocaine trafficking, reveal that Liverpudlian dealers operating across Europe, spanning Spain, Portugal, Bulgaria, Turkey, and South America, have been warned to brace for a violent escalation. Sources suggest that at least one senior Colombian emissary in Amsterdam has already been targeted in a retaliatory shooting, a move that could further intensify hostilities. The assassination of Smith has also raised pressing questions about the apparent ease with which a foreign hitman infiltrated the UK to execute one of its most notorious cocaine barons. This marks the first known instance of a Colombian cartel successfully eliminating a high-profile British dealer on UK soil, setting a chilling precedent for future confrontations. While Merseyside police officially maintain that the investigation into Smith's murder is ongoing, detectives privately acknowledged the volatile situation brewing in the wake of his death. For years, Liverpool's gangs worked directly with Colombian traffickers, with Smith's network sourcing cocaine from the South American suppliers linked to the infamous cartels that dominated the global drug trade during the 1990s. In the late 1970s, the Liverpool Mafia began establishing itself as a formidable force in the UK's criminal underworld, carefully consolidating its power through strategic alliances. Among its most critical connections was a close relationship with the IRA, which allowed the group to fortify its influence. However, one of its most notorious associations was with a contract-killing organization known as the Cleaners. This shadowy group of paramilitaries gained infamy for executing over 20 drug-related assassinations across Liverpool, ensuring the Mafia's dominance through sheer terror and unrelenting violence. Merseyside police, widely regarded as one of the most capable forces outside of London in tackling organized international crime, have repeatedly warned of the extreme dangers posed by Liverpool's drug kingpins. Armed with significant firepower and completely unafraid to use it, these barons have solidified their reputation as both cunning and ruthless. One significant drug bust in the Netherlands exemplified their resources and reach. Authorities uncovered 1,600 kilograms of cocaine cleverly concealed in sardine tins, a shipment linked to Liverpool traffickers. Following this, an additional cache of 3,000 rounds of ammunition and 2 silencers was seized, a stark indication of the lengths these criminals were prepared to go to protect their interests. On the other side of this dangerous equation lies the Cali Cartel, a criminal organization that has evolved into one of the most dominant syndicates in the world despite numerous high-profile arrests over the years. Its resilience and adaptability have allowed it to maintain significant control over international cocaine trade routes. A senior British detective, when asked about the risks of challenging such a long-established Colombian cartel, wryly commented that it was unwise, a piece of black humor that underscores the grave dangers of such a confrontation. Colin Smith, a 40-year-old figure who became one of the most successful cocaine barons in Britain, defied many of the stereotypes associated with gangsters. Smith's rise to power was not built on intimidation or overt displays of violence, but on his exceptional talent for orchestrating complex smuggling operations and his skill at cultivating valuable relationships. A father of 5, Smith began his journey in the drug trade as a teenager, selling 5-pound bags of cannabis while attending Liverpool's New Hayes Comprehensive School. By 1996, 2 decades later, he had climbed to the very top of the cocaine market in Britain. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Smith shunned ostentation. He preferred an understated lifestyle, opting for old Lacoste shirts and a Ford Mondeo instead of flashy designer suits or luxury vehicles. This low-key approach allowed him to operate largely beneath the radar, a stark contrast to the flashy arrogance of some of his rivals. For protection, Smith relied on Stephen Lawler, a 34-year-old nightclub security firm boss who quickly proved to be much more than just a typical muscle-bound bodyguard. Lawler's intelligence and strategic thinking enabled him to rise within Smith's organization, eventually becoming his right-hand man and trusted deputy. As Smith's empire grew, he began delegating critical responsibilities to Lawler, including direct negotiations with the powerful Colombian cartels. This decision would later prove to be fatal. In the spring of 2001, Lawler orchestrated a major deal involving a 500-kilogram shipment of cocaine smuggled from South America to Amsterdam before its eventual transfer to Britain. At the time, relations between the Liverpudlian syndicates and the Cali Cartel remained cooperative, built on a foundation of trust. Deals were conducted on credit, with payments deferred until the cocaine was sold on the streets. As was customary, the 500 kilograms of pure cocaine would be cut or bashed up to create 900 kilograms, each carrying a street value of £80,000. While the arrangement initially appeared smooth, underlying tensions began to emerge. Smith's delegation of key responsibilities to Lawler, coupled with the immense stakes involved, created friction between the two syndicates. This growing unease would eventually escalate, setting in motion a chain of events that culminated in Smith's assassination. His death marked a turning point not only for Liverpool's drug scene but also for its fragile relationship with the Colombian cartels. The fallout from this betrayal would lead to an intensifying rivalry, one that continues to shape the volatile world of international drug trafficking. Lawler never saw any profit from the ill-fated £72 million cocaine deal. His life came to a sudden and violent end in May 2001 when he was gunned down as he left a party in Liverpool. Although 23-year-old British Army Corporal Peter Clark was charged with the murder, he was later acquitted. However, the violence did not end there. Clark's older brother, Ian, aged 32, was killed in what appeared to be a retaliatory attack just 4 months later. Not long after that, Lawler's own brother, Tony, was also murdered. In the midst of this deadly chain of events, the 500 kilograms of cocaine involved in the deal mysteriously disappeared. Smith, faced with the Colombians' inevitable demands for an explanation, claimed the Liverpool Mafia had never received the missing shipment. According to an insider from the criminal underworld, Smith took a bold gamble. Smigger decided to bluff his way through, the source explained. He was a master at spinning a story. He told the Colombians that Lawler had kept the details of the deal entirely to himself and suggested the shipment was probably still sitting, forgotten, on a dockside in Holland. He insisted he had no knowledge of its whereabouts. This strategy initially worked. Smith had earned a reputation for reliability and integrity in his dealings, qualities that set him apart from the average gangster. His word carried weight, and the Colombians, at first, believed his account. But the fragile trust he relied on soon crumbled. A close associate of Smith, operating in the Netherlands, leaked a very different version of events to the Colombians. This informant revealed that Smith not only knew the exact location of the shipment, but had also taken steps to recover it. A Dutch businessman with connections to Liverpool's criminal syndicate confirmed these allegations. The drugs were never lost, he explained. The cocaine was sitting right there in containers lined up on the docks like brand new cars. Behind the scenes, Smith had mobilized a network of Liverpool gang members based in Amsterdam to secretly offload the shipment, bypassing his South American partners entirely. An inevitable confrontation followed. A meeting was arranged in Amsterdam between Smith's syndicate and representatives of the Colombian cartel. The Colombians demanded proof that the drugs had been seized by authorities, a yellow pedal, as they called it, referring to an official police document or a newspaper report confirming the confiscation. Smith, unable to provide such evidence, found himself in an increasingly precarious position. The Colombians made it clear that failure to pay for the missing cocaine would have dire consequences. Tensions between the two factions escalated into a full-blown standoff, one that soon turned lethal. As the situation deteriorated, the Colombians took decisive action. According to a source in the Netherlands, they contracted a high-ranking emissary, known for his effectiveness in recovering debts, to travel to Amsterdam and resolve the issue. However, when this emissary arrived, he became a target. He was shot by Smigger's men, the source revealed. The retaliatory strike stunned the Colombians, who viewed the Liverpool gang as a group of petty criminals punching far above their weight. This blatant act of defiance enraged the cartel, and they wasted no time in responding. Determined to reassert their dominance, the Colombians placed a contract on Smith's life. For them, this was not merely a financial matter, but an affront to their authority, one that demanded a lethal response. After months of pursuit, the cartel's enforcers finally caught up with Smith in November of last year. His murder was the culmination of a volatile and deadly conflict, a stark reminder of the high stakes in the shadowy world of international drug trafficking. Colin Smith met his end on the evening of November 13th last year, just after 8 p.m., as he stepped out of Nell's Gym in Speke, Liverpool. His assassination, carried out with chilling precision, shocked the underworld and triggered a cascade of events that exposed the complex web of connections between Liverpool's criminal syndicates and their Colombian counterparts. In the days following Smith's murder, Merseyside police launched an intensive investigation, bugging meetings of high-ranking Liverpool gang members. One such gathering, held late last year at the Marriott Liverpool South Hotel, was recorded by undercover officers. The hotel, a favorite haunt of Liverpool football players and conveniently located near John Lennon Airport, is believed to have been a strategic meeting point. The timing was no coincidence. Smith's killer is thought to have used the nearby airport to make a swift getaway. The meeting itself, described by insiders as a mini-appellation, evoked comparisons to the infamous 1957 convention of American Mafia bosses in upstate New York. According to a senior police source, who spoke on condition of anonymity, a lot of these heavy hitters checked in. One even asked hotel management to turn off the CCTV cameras. Despite the expectation of immediate retaliation from Smith's allies, the aftermath has been far more complex. It's a nest of vipers, the officer remarked, indicating the intricate and treacherous alliances within Liverpool's underworld. Meanwhile, the Serious Organized Crime Agency, often regarded as the British equivalent of the FBI, announced last Thursday that it had seized a staggering 89,000 kilograms of cocaine over the past year, most of it originating from Colombia. This marked a 20% increase compared to the previous year, underscoring the scale of the cocaine trade. A Soca insider confirmed that the agency was actively investigating Colombian involvement across every stage of the UK's cocaine supply chain. British detectives are now expanding their focus to Portobanos, a luxurious enclave in Marbella, Spain, known for attracting British cocaine dealers. Smith had flown from there shortly before his murder, further linking the location to Liverpool's criminal network. Among the fugitives on British police's most wanted list is Scott Coleman, a 33-year-old Liverpool drug trafficker. Authorities are racing to capture him before his potential involvement escalates the ongoing conflicts. A local Merseyside contact summed up the grim reality: Colin was a decent enough bloke, but he didn't always settle his debts. And in this business, everyone knows what happens when you don't pay your bills. The rise of Liverpool's criminal syndicates and their enduring connection to the Cali cartel tells a story of adaptation and dominance in the drug trade. For decades, Liverpool's cocaine dealers have relied on increasingly sophisticated methods to evade law enforcement. In a world where emails and phone calls are routinely monitored by counter-narcotics officers, these traffickers have turned to face-to-face communication. Using budget flights from Merseyside to key European cities, couriers deliver instructions in person and often return the same day. This approach has allowed the Liverpool Mafia to maintain its foothold in the drug trade for over 30 years, defying numerous police crackdowns. The Liverpool Mafia's origins date back to the late 1970s when Tommy Tacker Comerford, a heroin kingpin, established Britain's first drug-dealing cartel. The gang's power grew significantly in the aftermath of the Toxteth riots when middle-aged white criminals formed a strategic partnership with younger black gangs. Under the leadership of a mysterious figure known only as the Banker, the syndicate rose to become the wealthiest criminal organization in the UK. Key to their success were strong ties with corrupt port officials and haulage contractors, ensuring their reputation as expert smugglers. As cocaine gained popularity, the Liverpool Mafia expanded its operations, forging alliances with the notorious Cali cartel in Colombia. The cartel, eager to penetrate the lucrative European market, found a valuable partner in Liverpool's well-established distribution network. The collaboration flourished, especially after the Medellin cartel, Cali's primary rival, was dismantled in 1987. Despite suffering significant setbacks, including the 2004 extradition of its founders, Gilberto and Miguel Rodriguez Orihuela, to the United States, the Cali cartel adapted and continued to operate under various aliases. Today, it remains one of the most formidable criminal organizations in the world. Amsterdam has emerged as the key operational hub for both Liverpool and Colombian dealers. The Dutch city serves as a critical transit point where the two groups work in tandem to coordinate the shipment and distribution of cocaine across Europe. This enduring partnership between the Liverpool Mafia and the Cali cartel underscores the global nature of the cocaine trade and the challenges faced by law enforcement agencies trying to dismantle such deeply entrenched networks.